Well, hello. We're going to get into a conversation now about television, and we'll first look at television in the modern day and sort of where we stand. There'll be a bit of a look back to put things in context, and then we'll do some historical stuff. But mainly here in this outline in this video, we'll be talking about the status of television today. I will say a word about the powerful social influence of television. Remember when we were talking about social effects at the beginning of the class, that we talked about George Gerbner's cultivation theory and how television and media cultivate our perception of reality. And I think that's true, and I think it's still very much true today. So we're going to look at a little short video here about the influence of television going back as far as the period of the 1960s. And the first person that you see here, I think you've heard of Mary Tyler Moore. If not, then you should have, and we'll probably talk about her again, but we'll pick it up there.
The Smothers Brothers comedy.
We never did regret it.
What do you think of television, honestly? Do you think it's good?
Yes, I do. I think particularly for what it is, for the amount of hours that it gives you for enjoyment, either in education or for pure entertainment, it's remarkably good.
What television did in the 60s was to show the American people to the American people. Until then, we did not truly know much about each other. We knew only what we had seen, which was very little, and what we had read, which was even less.
A few years ago, I thought it was the end of the world.
No, it's just the beginning. I think people looked at television for answers, maybe, that the world's just confusing. It's going to hell all over the place. Maybe something on here will help.
There was no denying the shift in attitudes towards sex, towards race relations, towards politics. It was all televised.
That you will faithfully execute the office.
That I will faithfully execute the office.
When it works, television conveys impressions and evokes memories. When it works well, television makes us feel.
Good morning. It's T-minus 1 hour, 29 minutes, and 53 seconds, and counting.
Television created a sense of national unity around cultural events.
Okay, Neil, we can see you coming down the ladder now.
You could turn on a machine and be somewhere else.
You're looking good here.
Boy.
Television changed absolutely everything.
Beautiful, beautiful. Isn't that something?
Okay, so interesting little clip from the CNN series on the 60s. A lot of that is still certainly true today, the influence of television, but you have the broader aspect of television in that we have now cable and satellite television, of course, streaming television, and there are many more choices now than there once were. Viewers, this is a TED Talk I'm going to show you here. And here we're thinking a lot about television in terms of the information that it provides, not so much entertainment, but news, if you want to just refer to it as news. And the speaker here is a former TV news producer. And she has some thoughts on how viewers really can make television news better and improve the quality of the content that we receive. Viewers can improve the quality of television or video news by demanding higher quality, more in-depth standards of journalism. She says, shorter is not sweeter, and choose facts over opinion, among other things. We're going to pick this up midway through and just watch a minute or two.
Media help us. So how can we do this? I have 5 ideas for you today. Number 1, distinguish between news and journalism. Seek out information sources that take more time to explain things to you. Because when it comes to understanding the world, shorter is not sweeter. In 2012, 80% of local TV news stories were less than a minute. How can you understand anything in 55 seconds? Journalism takes time to explain the whole story with multiple perspectives. News is just new information. When we demand more informative stories, we encourage the news media to supply us with longer, deeper storytelling. Number 2, opt for fact over opinion. Talking heads now dominate homepages and newscasts. As of 5 years ago, commentary and opinion had crept up to 63% of national cable news. Opinionators understand the issues well enough for them to tell you what they think. How can you honestly know what you think without the facts, the context, the reporting?
Okay, we'll pause her there. This is very much worth watching the entire 15 minutes, but
we demand
we don't have the time for that here. But I hope that you will go back and watch all of that. It's very worthwhile. The television viewing audience. It's important to understand that for all the talk about streaming and on-demand viewing and binge watching and so on, that broadcast TV still dominates the ratings. Now, by broadcast TV, I'm talking about, for the most part, your local over-the-air TV stations. So most of us come from the Dallas area, and in Dallas, we're talking about Channel 4, which is the Fox network affiliate, Channel 5, which is the NBC affiliate, Channel 8, the ABC affiliate, and Channel 11, the CBS affiliate. So let's look at here. These are the top shows of 2019-20, which is the most recent full year we have available. These are the top 100 shows, and we're not going to look at all of these, obviously, but we'll get a kind of a sense of the status of television and the dominant shows and also networks and so on. So the number 1 show in 2019-20, and this has been true for some time and I think will likely be true again, Sunday Night Football on NBC, Channel 5 in Dallas-Fort Worth was the top show of 2019-20, averaging 20.1 million viewers. And that NCIS on CBS was the top-rated entertainment show, 15.3 million viewers. Then you see Thursday Night Football, Monday Night Football. So of the top 5 shows, 3 of them were pro football telecasts. Now, another thing you see here is that the only cable network that is included in the top 10 shows, as we scroll it down a little bit, was ESPN with its Monday Night Football telecast. All of the other top 10 shows were on broadcast networks. So Sunday Night Football, NBC, NCIS, CBS, and Thursday Night Football on Fox, FBI on CBS, Blue Bloods on CBS, Chicago Fire on NBC. So you see some law enforcement type shows that and emergency responder type shows that were very popular. This Is Us on NBC, Young Sheldon, a sitcom, that's the highest rated sitcom of that year, on CBS, and Chicago PD, another police or emergency responder type show on NBC. All of those, except the ESPN telecast of Monday Night Football, all of those are broadcast TV shows, over-the-air broadcast TV. So I have a link here to the 2019-20 broadcast TV ratings. I think you'll find that interesting to look at, but I'll I'll pass over that for now in the interest of time. And then we'll look at traditional viewing versus other types of viewing. And this will look at traditional TV versus TV connected device usage. So this is looking at traditional TV refers to all live plus time-shifted TV viewing. Connected TV refers to DVD and Blu-ray, game consoles, internet-connected devices. So traditional television set versus other type of devices. And several things that you see there. This is the numbers at the top of those bar graphs indicate the amount of viewing per day. So one thing that tells us is that older people watch a heck of a lot more TV than younger people, as you see from in the 50 to 64 and 65 plus. They're watching in the range of 6 hours a day. If we look to 12 to 17, they're watching more so in the range of about an hour a day. So that's one thing that we see. And then again with the blue bar, the dark blue bar being traditional TV, you see that older people tend to watch more traditional TV, whether it's broadcast or cable TV, and certainly on a traditional TV set, than younger people do. It's about an even split with younger people. Let's see if we can scroll down on this a little bit further. That's probably the main thing I wanted to show you there. And then a very good video on how Netflix has changed TV, and certainly, no doubt about it, streaming, viewing has come a long way in recent years. It still does not equal broadcast TV viewership, especially when you think in terms of how many different things are available via Netflix and all the other streaming services. But it's changed the industry tremendously. So let's have a look at this video.
In April 2017, Netflix hit a milestone when it reached 100 million subscribers. That's more than any over-the-top streaming network, including Amazon Prime and Hulu. Netflix is currently available in over 190 countries. Half the subscribers are in the US, where roughly 50 million people have joined across the 50 states. Founded in 1997 by Reed Hastings and Mark Randolph in Scotts Valley, California, Netflix began as a mail-order DVD service. Instead of going to a local store like Blockbuster, Netflix delivered entertainment right to your door. 10 years later, after delivering its billionth DVD, Netflix expanded into internet video on demand. What they offered was a revolutionary new way of watching TV. Instead of airing episodes weekly, viewers could consume an entire season in one go, what is now known as binge watching. Thanks to this new model, some shows that struggle to attract an audience week in, week out manage to avoid cancellation. The most famous example is Breaking Bad. Creator Vince Gilligan once said,
"I think Netflix kept us on the air."
Improvements in streaming technology and a rise in the use of handheld devices helped Netflix's growth, as did the platform's vast library of films and TV shows. But there was one problem: none of the content belonged to Netflix. That meant the company wasn't just paying the original network for each show, but they also had no guarantee they'd be able to keep the rights forever. Their solution? To go from streaming TV to creating it. Netflix's first original show, House of Cards, was launched in February 2013 and made history later that year by becoming the first online-only television series to receive an Emmy nomination. With Kevin Spacey starring and David Fincher directing, it also showed that Netflix could attract top Hollywood talent to work on a web TV series.
Okay, I'm going to pause that there. It goes on for about another minute, and certainly worth watching the rest of that. But Netflix surely has changed the TV industry in a major way. And so let's get back into our PowerPoint here. We'll get back to where we were. Traditional broadcast networks, while they are still dominating the ratings, of course they do not dominate as they did, and they recognize they're under tremendous pressure especially from streaming TV. And so they have tried something which is a kind of back to the future type approach of offering live events as a way of remaining relevant. And one of the examples of that was not too long ago, a live performance of The Little Mermaid. I believe this was NBC. Oh, I beg your pardon, ABC. ABC did this one.
ABC presents an all-star cast in the live television event of the year, The Little Mermaid, live. Show-stopping performances, dazzling sets, soaring acts, part animated film, part live spectacle, 100% Disney magic.
Anyone know where my dressing room is?
The Little Mermaid, live, Tuesday, November 5th on ABC.
Okay, so we'll pause that. They did quite well with that, and of course sports also. We've already seen how important sports is for broadcast television, how successful it is. So this was an interesting article as we think about network television, which is more traditional type television, versus on-demand television, which is represented by Netflix and Hulu and so on. This is an article I thought was interesting in defense of network television, which we see still has the largest share of viewers. This was, I thought, an interesting article. And the key paragraph here says, broadcast television, however it arrives, by cable or Wi-Fi or old school riding the waves over the electromagnetic spectrum. We'll talk more about what actual broadcast TV means as we go along here. But however it arrives, broadcast TV continues to offer something valuable in a time when whatever does not swing for the fences is accounted as a failure, as if only homers brought in runs. It has the quality of being ordinary. That's not to say dull, though of course it can be dull, but rather common and familiar, useful in the way of a screwdriver or a blanket. Broadcast. It's the original TV, legally bound by regulations and restrictions. It's shaped by a business model that requires filling a weekly grid of original programming from 12 primetime hours on the low end from the network, the CW, to 22 on the high end, CBS, that can draw a mass audience more or less year-round. And as she says, it's free. When you cut the cord or let your subscription lapse, you can grab it right out of the air. So network television, broadcast television, still an important aspect of media. YouTube TV is an alternative way to receive broadcast and cable TV that has come along, also Hulu TV. Again, the internet stepping in to become competitive and offer an alternative. So we'll look at a bit of this from YouTube TV.
This was my dad's favorite day, so I celebrate him. That's how Randall rolls.
Pittsburgh will hurry back. Kessel in the zone for Malkin, for Kessel right in. Malkin, they score!
Big night in Washington. If you have late night plans tonight, you might want to cancel them.
Can I call you Grandpa?
God, you have to.
Okay, so I'm going to pause that there, but this is YouTube not just providing videos on demand, but actual live TV, all of the major broadcast networks and cable networks. So that's a big change, and again, where you want it, on your smartphone, wherever you might be. Local TV is also available streaming now. There is a a video here on that. I'm not going to show much of this, but so your local stations, Channel 4, Channel 5, Channel 8, Channel 11, still sending their signals out over the airwaves.
The moment
but also they are streaming online.
you realize something is truly luxury is the moment you put it to use.
What's happening, Panda Nation? Peter Von Panda here. If you want to watch local television stations streamed over the internet, check this out. Hey, I've been a cord cutter for a while, and I know one of the things that people want are local television stations. I'm no different. And I loved a service called Aereo years ago, but the government shut it down, and I think they totally did not understand it. But what I didn't know is about this site behind me, and I am thrilled with it. First of all, the history on it is that apparently, like, there are nonprofits that can broadcast local stations for various purposes, and I didn't know anything about that, but I was turned on to this site. It's called lowcast.org, not .com, .org, and it stands for local broadcast, apparently. The site, as you might be able to see here, is totally free. You can create an account in just a couple minutes. It just needs your name and email address, and you can donate money to it, which I didn't do, but I'm so impressed with that, maybe I should.
So I'm going to pause him there, but this is the ability for viewers to see their local TV stations live streaming. So, for example, if you were in some other part of the world and you wanted to watch Dallas local TV news, you could do that. Of course, local TV stations also provide video online and social media. So I'm looking at Channel 4's website here. And so if you never turned on a traditional TV station on broadcast TV or cable TV, you could still get a tremendous amount of information, both in terms of video and also just text and photography and so forth from your local TV station's webpage. This is fox4news.com, and of course they're also providing things via social media, Facebook and Twitter, and the rest of it. So that's sort of an overview of where television is at the moment. As I say, we're going to get into some of the history of television next time. And thanks for watching, and we'll see you then.